Let's talk about Papa Gut. Wow, it's always the guys who look a little bit like me. Um, let's see. Questions for let's talk about Papa Gut.
Hi.
All right, a little bit
So
faster.
today I thought about talking about
Where are you?
a person on YouTube by the name of Papa Gut.
I am Papa
I
Gut.
actually watch him pretty frequently,
That's cool.
and I tend to agree with a lot of the things he says.
All right.
But he seems to take the moral high ground a lot, and sometimes gives off a "I'm better
Do I do that a lot?
than you" kind of vibe. Now I'm sure he doesn't feel that way, but
I am actually better than you. I do have it's intentional. I'm just kidding. I feel. Do I really do that? I'm just kidding. Do I really do that? I try not to. If you interpret it like that, I'm trying not to like moral high ground you. I don't know. Okay.
I'd like to talk about him and explore.
I guess it's one of those things where like if you I don't know. You think I do? Well, some people honestly get an interesting reception in the chat. Some people are saying well, they're saying I don't. Some people are saying that they do. Some people are saying sometimes. Some people saying that they understand why people feel that way, but they don't think I'm doing that. Okay, maybe I just come off differently to different people.
That a little more. So let's go to the tripod.
Okay.
Okay. So it's
Okay.
been a little while since I've talked about someone on YouTube, and I don't typically do it, and I'm admittedly a little nervous to do it again.
Okay. Why?
I get certain things in my head, and I'm like, man, I'd really like to talk about this.
Okay.
And I put it off, and I put it off, and I put it off, and then it'll build up to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. But I do. I worry about, what happens when that video goes out to the public. Maybe nobody will even see it.
Yeah.
Maybe a bunch of people will watch it and be really mad at me. But here's the thing. This video, while I may say some slightly negative things about Papa Gut, this isn't a hit piece. This isn't a Gokunaru-style video about Papa Gut like he did with H3.
Man, I don't think that you could make a kind of a video about me. Not for lack of ability, but I feel like I'm not that bad. But
this is more of a discussion. I'm just talking about things that I notice, and just going from there. I am not making this video to try to damage him or make him look bad.
All right.
It's just a discussion and a debate with myself, I guess you could say. There is a part of me that does feel kind of shitty for just talking about people that I don't even know.
Why?
They don't know me.
That's what I'd do. You should. I mean, at the very least, you shouldn't feel shitty about doing it to me. I do it about people all the time.
But they're public. We're all public on here. I mean, me not so much because nobody watches my videos. But I feel like if you put videos out there, they're to be discussed, and
Yeah,
people can discuss my videos too, but they don't because nobody cares. And I don't blame them. I mean, I'm, whatever. But basically,
Okay.
I feel out of my element here talking about other YouTubers because I don't typically do it. I don't really have.
My friend here's a little nervous. Yeah, this guy's relatable. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. I guess it is a little weird to talk about people on the internet that like you don't know anything about. Like I guess as like a normal person, it's like, yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm making a video about a stranger. I guess I never really thought about that. But I guess that's pretty much what I do every single day, isn't it? I just make video about strangers.
Have a lot to add when it comes to a lot of the drama that happens. And I'm not trying to create drama with this video. Not at all.
Okay.
I'm just trying to have a simple discussion.
Okay.
One of the things that I will say that I think is kind of negative is,
Yeah.
now he may
How
not
fat I am. Yeah.
think of it like this, but sometimes when he's talking, it seems like he's always trying to take the moral high ground, which is fine, but it's always comes off sometimes
What does
as,
that mean?
I'm smarter than you, I'm morally superior to you. Everybody else that I'm talking about is a lower IQ, unself-aware person. Now,
I guess I try not to sound like that. There's definitely times when I do that. Let me tell you, that is exactly how I feel, for instance, about like my interaction with Def Noodles. But I've also talked to him the first time, and that's not how I went into it the first time. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where like I met him and it's different. Like I didn't meet him in person, but I met him in the first time. Outside of that, though, I feel like I try not to do that. But I do try not to do that. Maybe it comes off as that. I mean, maybe it's just because I talk about a lot of drama stuff, so.
now, he probably doesn't think that way. And I may be misinterpreting some of the things that he says and his actions.
Maybe.
But it sometimes just seems like I'm smarter than all these people, so we're going to make videos and talk about them. That's really all I have to say for that part. It's just sometimes it comes off seeming that way.
I wish you'd give. Hopefully he does, but I wish you'd give me an example. Because like I'm fine with the criticism, but like give me an example. Like, oh, I watched this video and it felt like you thought you were smarter. It's like, okay, so like what? Well, what's the video? Like what made you feel? You know what I mean? Like specific examples would be good. Hopefully he gives me that to me, but it's one of those things where like if you feel that way, it's like, okay, that's fair. But if you're not going to give me like a specific example of when I did that, and I have no idea how to look at it and see what you're talking about, right?
Something else I want to bring up is
That'd
what
be
bothers
good.
me about somebody acting like that is he has said before
Yeah.
that he'll sit down and talk to his wife. Now, first of
Yeah.
all, I don't like bringing
She's
people's
cool.
significant others or their children into anything, and I'm not trying to
Yeah.
talk bad about her at all. She's a lovely woman. She's great. You
Yeah.
know, they're happy. I'm glad. I would never say an ill word about her because this
Okay.
video isn't about her. It's about
Okay.
him. That's
All right.
simple. But he has said that he has these very long conversations with her before he makes a video.
Not all the time, but yeah, sometimes on topics in general, like for sure.
So sometimes it feels like he just regurgitates her ideas, her morals. Like, what would his videos be like if he didn't have these conversations with her beforehand?
They would be worse. So I just want to be like explicitly clear about, because I've heard some people make this argument, especially if I've had my perspective changed on a topic after I talked to my wife, and they're like, it's just like you're regurgitating what your wife's saying. Just so you understand, like I respect my wife a lot, like 50-50 partner. So when I listen to her, if I think she's wrong, I disagree, and if I think she's right, I agree. I mean, like really basic. I'm not trying to be. I'm not saying that to be an asshole, but it's not that deep. It's not like I'm just trying to say what my wife says. My wife is just very intelligent, and so when she talks and like it brings up a good point, it makes me reflect. There have been a lot of instances where like I've changed drastically, or maybe not drastically, but I've changed my perspective because she knows how to articulate herself, and she has a perspective that I don't. I mean, she's literally a girl. I know that sounds so weird, but there's interactions where it's just interesting to look at different things through like the lens of somebody who's not me, and especially who's not a man. So like, yeah, I work with my wife. I work with my wife, not work with my wife. I like talk to my wife, and we work things out. We talk about stuff, and we get different perspectives on that. So I don't know if you're married or not. I think if you are married or you're in a relationship, I guess the way I try to communicate to you is like, let's like think about just like when you talk to your wife, you probably do the same thing. It's just like you're not you're not thinking about it through like a content creator lens. Like if you kind of normalize it, if you humanize it, is something I try to say a lot. Like if you put this in the real world, like think about what am I doing that's weird. Oh, he's talking to his wife and then he listens to her. You know. But yeah, of course I do. She's smarter than me. She has a better perspective. She has a master's degree. She works like she's smarter than me. She's a woman. She has different perspectives that I do. You know, when I do content, I try to be but I don't try to be anything, but like what I feel like I am is I'm probably like I'm pretty smart, your average dude, but just I have the ability to communicate myself better than most people do in the real world. Mostly because they're not interested in giving a shit about the bullshit like being terminally online, right? But I'm like an average dude who just knows how to communicate. That's pretty much it. And I'm a little charismatic. I'm a little snappy, right? I should do ASMR. Right? That's pretty much it.
Would he still believe the thing he's saying had
Yeah.
he not had these discussions? Now, maybe.
Wait, hold on. That's a weird statement.
Would he still believe the thing he's saying, like, if he didn't have these conversations with her beforehand? Would he still believe the thing he's saying had he not had these discussions? Now,
No, probably not. Well, I mean, like mostly yes, but like if you like okay, let's say I talk to my wife and I say that blue is the best color in the world, and then my wife comes out with a perspective and says like, well, I think that the fucking yellow is the best color in the world, and then she makes a really good case for it, and I go, wow, I never thought of it like that. You know what? I think that yellow might be a better color, but I'm not convinced. Right? Does that mean that all of a sudden my argument is dishonest, or did I just change my perspective? Right? Do you know what I mean? That's pretty much it.
maybe, maybe not. I don't know. And there's nothing wrong with.
I don't think this guy means this wife part, but you do explain words to people a lot and do this let me dumb it down for you kind of thing when you start talking. Oh, okay. Interesting. Do you when I do that, do you feel like I'm trying to say that you're stupid? I'm not saying that to be like antagonistic because to me, I try to communicate it in like a really simple way. The way I try to communicate is like I try to be as effective at the communication as possible. And I try to break it down as much as possible so that anybody could understand it. Because sometimes things can get like lost in translation. It's not to be disingenuous. It's just to communicate myself. Like, I don't think less of people because I try to like explain. Like, I like to go into it and like really deeply explain stuff so that people know what I'm talking about. That's pretty much it. You know, like when you say the word dumb it down, I don't look at it as dumbing it down. I look at it as just trying to be as concise as possible. Like, I'm not trying to dumb anything down, but like sometimes people say things to me that are like really fucking simple and like it has the most profound impact on me and I'm like, "Wow, I never thought of it like that." You know? I don't really associate the way that I talk about stuff to like being stupid, you know? Um you know, that's it. I like the graphs I draw. I like to draw the graphs. A lot of times too, when I draw graphs, it's for me. It's so that like I can communicate better because I have something to look at, you know? So you look past it because you're a fan, but it's immediately off-putting the newcomers. Oh, okay. It might be. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, all I can really do is just be myself, do my content, and then if like people gravitate towards it, then like cool beans, you know?
Having a discussion and taking in as much information and then putting a video out to the public about it. But
Okay.
sometimes it comes off as it's like his wife's content and not his. He's just
Maybe.
the speaker.
Hey,
It also
it's
kind
what
of
it is.
annoys me when he has to go to the Paint program, and I know he kind of makes jokes about it too. But sometimes it feels like he doesn't give his audience
Call me
enough
out.
credit to believe that they can be on par with him mentally and understand.
That's really I think that you have a little bit of a negative framing of me, brother. I don't do paint to make people feel stupid. I do it because like, okay, if I'm gonna go into like a really deep topic, like I do like the we do like the, you know, the chart about like, you know, like a sexual assault chart, right? And I go through all these like visual things and I do like, it's not to be like you're really fucking dumb, you don't get it. It's because like, okay, when I do like the essay chart, you know how it's like, okay, so then there's a girl, guy picks up the house, they go out to eat, you know, like, okay, then they go back to his house, you know, then they watch TV, then he asks her to sleep with her, she says no, and then like the no, and then like, you know, and then by the fourth time she ends up like giving in out of like multiple factors. I'm not doing this so that because I think you're stupid. I'm doing it because like when I fuck it, it's very unfortunate, but when I've talked to my wife about the female perspective on this very topic, like we kind of went through it like this in a way. We didn't do it visually, but we went through like piece by piece and it was like, oh, okay, all right. So it helps me communicate better when I can go through a chart, because when I go through this chart, I always go through this chart as if I'm a man. I'm always just like, hey, you know, you go pick her up at the house, you go to Applebee's, then you do this, you ask her, you put her a little bit pushy, blah, blah, blah. And then I go through the chart again and I go, okay, now what's her perspective? And then you go, oh, shit. That's the whole point of it. It's more just for like, it's one, to help me organize my thoughts, and two, like it helps communicate better. Like, I don't know. I don't think that I'm being an asshole when I do this. I'm just trying to communicate effectively to get my point across. It's not about being like dishonest or an asshole. And plus, I like paint. It helps me. I have like really people don't know this, but I have like really weird short-term memory problems, so it helps a lot when I do that too.
Understand what he's talking
Like
about.
a lot of like I do what I'm doing now, but a lot of times people are like, "Why pause so much?" It's because like I will forget my point if I don't pause it immediately and talk about it immediately.
Without pulling out the blackboard and treating it like he's a teacher in school, and he's like, okay, well, here's point A, point B, point C, and this is
No.
why this is the way it is. It's like, we know, dude. We get it. We're not kids. And I know he likes to be very particular and articulate, and
Yes.
he likes to
Yes.
not leave anything out. And if he can draw something,
If it's off-putting to new fans, that's unfortunate. I don't want to change my brand just because you might. Well, first of all, you think it's off-putting to, and I'm not talking to the guy here. I'm talking to somebody in the chat. You might think it's off-putting to new fans, but also maybe you're wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think changing that is gonna like help me. I'm trying to put myself out there, not put out what I think people want to see from myself. So if that's off-putting to people, then I think that that's okay. Like, I don't want to. I'm not trying to like put on a character, you know?
and to make sure every single person understands.
Yes,
I
exactly.
get that too, but sometimes it comes off a little bit like, dude, we get it. Okay, you don't have to pull paint out. We
Yes, I
understand.
do.
We're
Every
on the
time.
same level. Not everybody, maybe, but you know, maybe chat gives off a different vibe. Maybe he's reading this stuff and he's like, holy shit.
No, I think the best criticism from this guy here, I don't know if he's making this point intentionally, is that I feel the need to qualify everything. You know what I mean? I feel the need to qualify everything, and maybe that gets a little cumbersome. Dumb. You know what I mean? Especially to people who are like, Papa God, we watch every one of your videos, and you've explained this. I've heard it like 17 times, but sometimes I just need to explain for the new people. You know, or you know what I mean?
But as a viewer, I don't watch the live stream.
But then if it's also longer, and I can make more money. I'm just fucking around.
Because I watch the videos that are uploaded later. As a viewer, I totally get the things he's talking about.
Yeah.
And when he feels the need to go into these long explanations, I'm like, oh, okay, can we just get past this?
This is what you do when that happens. You just skip through. I do that sometimes.
Got it already. Speaking of, getting his ideas from his wife, it makes you wonder sometimes, okay, well, who is Papa Gut offline? And
pretty much the same person. I really am. I just talk to my wife about everything. I love my wife a lot.
Moody Morgan just
hey, thanks for the sub, brother. Let me pause those for now.
And sometimes you wonder, does he
I'm almost exactly the same offline.
believe the things he says?
Yes, all 100%.
Or not?
Always.
Does he just say what he thinks is morally superior and is the most politically correct thing?
Those are two different things. So, okay, listen, I just want to be abundantly clear about this because this is something I'm going to push back against because I don't think anybody has a valid claim to say that I'm basically virtue signaling. So this video here, I got fucking people hate me for different reasons for every video. Here's a video here of me running defense for Sneeko because I think that this like Nick is not green guy went too far calling it sexual assault. People are upset about that. Then we have the Sneeko video here. People are upset. This is me talking poorly of Sneeko because he did a bad thing. Because ironically, he's doing the same thing to Brandon Buckingham that this guy did to Sneeko, right? So like that's a totally different view, or not totally different view, but like, okay, I'm getting like a different like negative feedback here. Then I have the high value man thing that I don't like, and like even in this Mr. Girl, like I have this right, this is the best one right here, I think, is that I have this Daz conversation where people got really upset because they felt like I was being too charitable to Andrew Tate. But then over here, the people are like, you're not being charitable enough to Andrew Tate. It's one of those, I just try to be as even and fair and as I possibly can and align with what I think. You can't please everybody, but if I was looking for one narrative, all my videos would be, like, I wouldn't have any videos calling out Ethan Klein. I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have any videos calling out Ethan Klein. The Ren Eleanor situation, people were really some people were really upset with this situation. They were crying about that. Like, if I know what the morally righteous thing to say is, I know exactly what I have to say to make you think I'm the coolest. I'm such a good guy. Oh, Papa Gut, he's such. I know the things but I just don't say them because I'm not looking to do that. A lot of times people get irritated with some of the takes that I'll make. So, like, yeah, man, I don't think that you could assert that reasonably at all, to be absolutely honest with you. So yeah,
to just look better. Is that the goal here? To watch?
If I wanted to look better, then I would just fucking lose weight and
be like, well, that's simple. You just
sometimes some of my videos come off as fence sitting. Like, what do I do that makes you feel like I fence sit?
Don't do this. You don't do that, and look like the good guy all the time. I don't think it's just that.
Well, I don't look like the good guy all the time. People are upset with me today because of my take on Sneeko, like, because they're saying I'm being too charitable to him. Like, I don't try to look like the good guy. I care. I try not to care about people. I try to take reasonable feedback, but I try not to care about people getting upset, if that makes sense.
I think he really does just sit there and he's like, wow, I can't believe I watched somebody do something this ignorant or stupid.
Yeah.
But sometimes it seems a little fake. Like, he uses the word performance a lot. He's like, oh, well, that's a performative apology. This is performative. Everything's performative. Sometimes his channel seems a little performative because I have a hard time believing that when he's not on camera, that he is exactly who he is on camera.
I really am. I don't know what to tell you, brother. I really am. I feel like I don't really make videos. I stream, right? So I feel like it's hard to play a character when you stream, because like you stream like 4 hours a day. Oh, hey guys, I'm really chipper. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So I'm not playing a character. I just don't know what to tell you, brother. I don't. I'm not. This is pretty much who I am. So.
Now, I will get into something a little bit later about that topic.
Yeah.
But for now,
I wish I had examples of what apologies I'm calling performative.
Let's move on to the next one. Now, I do believe he deserves the success he has.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
I
I don't.
believe he's a very smart person. You know, he's
Thanks, brother.
probably not
Thank
wrong
you.
to think that he's smart because he does seem like a
I do think I'm smart. Yeah.
very smart man. And I think sometimes he uses that to his advantage because a lot of the people he talks about don't seem very self-aware.
It's
Papa God
true.
is very self-aware.
That's true.
He is
Thank
very
you.
self-aware.
All right, keep it
And
coming.
sometimes I think he can use that to his advantage to just walk
Well, yeah.
that line of, okay, this is somewhat of an offensive joke. I know where to stop.
Yeah. I like making edgy humor, but I don't like going too far over the line because I'm not trying to upset people. That's not like a. That's if you. I hope that you're not trying to package that as a criticism.
I know where not to keep going. I mean, look at the whole TikTok ban.
But that's literally like I'm not a comedian, but that's what a comedian tries to do, right? Like you try to play the line of what's offensive, you push it a little bit, but you're not actually trying to offend. You're trying to be like offensive without offending. That's I guess what it's like to make like an edgy joke. Like I'm not trying to make anybody upset when I make these jokes. I want people to laugh, right? So like yeah, of course you're gonna play a line. It's not to be like mischievous, like oh, it's just to be like hey. Here's a funny joke that I hope that you enjoy, but it's just a joke, and I hope that you know that. That's the whole thing.
Okay, he went from being an offensive person, I think. I didn't watch the TikToks,
No, I wasn't never trying to be intentionally offensive.
so don't quote me on that. But I think he said he did something that was a little too something. I don't know. He's not. He wasn't just being a belligerent, offensive person for the sake of being offensive. I think it was for the sake of comedy.
Yeah.
But when you go from something like that to where he is now,
So just so people know, on TikTok, like it's hard to communicate. I made jokes on TikTok, but I always did social commentary as well. Always. I have barely shifted my perspective on any topic ever. I don't think that there's a single topic that I have actually I've changed it's so hard to communicate this. I've gotten more sensitive to people because like I've been interacting with more people and a lot of different people that weren't in my sphere. I'm a fucking Long Island fucking dude. Like everybody out here is like a ball buster. That's nobody's sensitive out here. Everybody's a ball busting motherfucker that like you could hit with a brick and they'll still laugh. But I'm interacting with other people online, and like some people are very sensitive, and I'm trying not. Some people I hate because they're too sensitive, but there's some people that are more sensitive than me, and I try to be more sensitive to their sensitivity. That's the only thing that's actually changed. Like truly, outside of that, I've been pretty consistent on there's really nothing that I've like really changed my mind on. It just comes off as that because I'm more sensitive. But I still roll with the edgy jokes and this stuff. It's not my priority, and I don't do TikToks anymore. And so like I'll make an edgy joke like probably like every video. But TikTok, if a video is an edgy joke, that's the whole video. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so now it's just like sprinkled in for some comedy. But I started doing this way before I was banned. Like, I started doing this like a year before I was banned. Like, I always been into these. In fact, I don't know if I have these, but like I used to do, like I took a shot at YouTube for like a month before, like in 2016. And when I first started getting into politics, and my takes weren't like super explored. But like, yeah, I started then, and it's like I haven't really shifted too much in my perspective. That's the whole thing I'm trying to communicate here. So this is why I qualify everything that I say. Now you understand why, because people don't really know who I am, right? You get what I mean now?
that is very self-aware. That is a very, hey, I was up here. I need to bring it down to about a here because the limit is about
1,000
here.
videos.
So I think he can use that intelligence to his advantage and know where to stay to be safe, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's
Now,
what you're supposed to do.
Coming back to maybe not being who he appears to be. See, that's a tricky thing because I don't know if anybody is who they appear to be. I think life itself is a performance because what we are up here is a lot different than what we show people. Now, maybe he is the type of person that does get a lot of information from his wife. And maybe everything he says does go through a fine filter until it drips out of the sink of his...
I tried to do that, but you can never like fully do that. Everybody has their days, just like Hannah Montana said.
Mouth. But is that such a problem? Is that a problem? Is it a problem to evaluate the way you think, but act differently?
What?
I don't think there's a single problem.
What does that
In fact,
mean?
I think it's a good thing to have a significant other that makes you a better person.
Yes.
And I think that's what she does for him.
Yes.
he would
thank
probably admit, oh, I'm not the greatest guy in the world, but my wife makes me a better person.
you. Yeah, I've said that before.
That is all we can really ask for in a relationship. Somebody that makes us a better person.
Okay.
So, I know.
Are you trying to fuck my wife, bro? Is that what you're Are you trying to fuck my wife, dude? This guy wants to fuck my wife. I'm just busting chops, but okay. I think he's just being very careful about the way he talks about my wife out of respect, which I appreciate that a lot. I do. I respect that.
I know I said a lot of negative things, but I do watch him. I do like him.
Okay. Are you
Like I
trying
said,
to
this isn't a
You're trying to fuck me? I'm trying to find my old videos, like that I took off, as like an example.
hit piece. This is just talking about something I wish I could talk to him about, but I can't. I wish I could ask him these questions. Like, hey, it seems like this.
I guess I got to do another sub Saturday, huh? Get some people in here that want to talk.
What's the reality here? Because he has no reason to lie. He would be honest. Why would he lie? I just wish I could find out the answers to these things. And I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. You could almost say this video doesn't need to exist, because the conclusion is he has a wife that loves him and makes him a better person.
It's true. Hold on, off topic. I found the older videos that I made. So like I had a few different things. I would just talk in my car, and then I started making thumbnails for those things. And I got, look at this, 107 views before I had any social media presence, huh? What do you think about that? Huh? Wow, what are these even about? TP USA on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez being a socialist. Wow, this was from 2019. Oh, wow, this is later than I thought. Wow. Will Witt, PragerU, and Universal Healthcare. Steven Crowder, Carlos Mazza, and YouTube censorship. You like all these old videos? Make them public? Fuck you, bro. Trans who? Is gender dysphoria a mental disorder? That's one of the ones. That's one of the ones. I know this is a trans affirming take too. I know it is. It's a whole. It's a. Oh, that's crazy. These are so old. They're not fake, bro. These are all real. Maybe I'll consider downloading them all and then making them like a video for the alt channel or something. We're not watching it. I can't watch it because it's probably so fucking cringe to me that I couldn't even watch it. So maybe in the future.
And not only that, what is a good person? What makes a good person? Could somebody say, oh, Papa Gut's not a good person?
I'm not a good person. I'm about to buy a fucking 2022 Dodge Challenger for like $36,000 or whatever. If I was a good person, I'd just give that to the homeless people, but I don't care about them.
Because he makes offensive jokes. Or maybe he isn't who he says he is. Maybe off camera he is this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe a good person is believing something, but acting different. Maybe in his mind, he
I don't know what the hell you're on about, brother.
might not necessarily believe the things he says, but he wants to. Or he might see somebody and have an opinion about them, but doesn't treat them any differently.
Well, yeah.
Maybe a good person is someone that...
Well, yeah. Okay, so what you're describing to me right now is putting your biases aside when you interact with somebody.
tries to become a better...
I'm not getting a scab pack, bro. I'm probably going to get a V6. I'm getting a GT, bro. I'm not getting into like anything crazy, okay? Listen, this is my first like nice car. Not just horrible reliability. I don't care. I don't care. I just want a nice car. Shut up. Okay? That's all I want. And you know what? If I had the money, I'd probably get like a fucking red eye, bro. A fucking wide body. So.
Person. And maybe this is his journey to becoming a better person. Maybe he's already reached that part of his life.
I'm enlightened.
So I think in conclusion, yeah, this video doesn't need to exist because it ends where it starts. Basically, is the content his or is it his wife's? Are these all of her ideals and morals, or are they his?
Yeah, I think what would have been more effective is if you made a video that like maybe focused on one thing. Like, hey, this is where I feel like Papa Gut is saying things just to appear woke, and here are a couple of examples. That probably would have been a little bit better to operate on.
And if you can be in a public space a good person, regardless of what's in here, I think that makes you a pretty good person because everybody in their own head is different. And not everybody in their own head is great or in a healthy place. Now, I'm not saying he's in an unhealthy place in his mind, but
that sounds like a little bit.
What matters more than treating people good? I think at the end of the day, if you go out of your way to disregard maybe some of the bad thoughts you have and still treat people good, regardless of what you believe and think, that makes you a pretty good person.
Yes.
I just wish that sometimes it
I don't really think about what makes people good people, I guess. That's something that just never really crosses my mind.
would come off less preachy, or maybe not preachy, just less, I'm better than you, I'm smarter than you, let me show you why you're so stupid. That's the only thing that kind of bothers me. There's nothing wrong with him becoming a better person if
It's impossible for me to be a better person than I already am.
if his wife says, hey, maybe I don't like the way you think about something,
Yeah.
and here's why you should change that, and he listens and absorbs that.
Well, she doesn't say, here's why you should change it. She goes, just, you know what my wife does? She'll go, I'll see talking about a topic, and she'll go be like, that's stupid. You're wrong. Here's why. It's sometimes it's funny, you know?
Information, and he really thinks about it for a while, and he's like, yeah, that makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with changing how you feel about something. So whether or not
it's normal.
he's real, I guess it doesn't matter as long as he treats people well.
Okay.
Whatever's inside your head is whatever's inside your head. Nobody really knows. They can make assumptions, but as long as you treat people well,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. So if you're the one person that watched this video, I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.
Well, all right. Interesting. That is true. I guess you never really know what's inside someone's head. But you know, okay, cool video. Why did you know, like, where did you find this video to send it to me? I don't understand. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down to the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.